Hello, everyone. My name is Chu Cheng. This is the story of my life as how I was reborn in a world where the roles of men and women were reversed, and let's start my story. I woke up in the bed of a strange woman called Chen Shi who was trying to take advantage of me, seeing as I was reborn after spending 300 years in the world of cultivation. Now transversing back to Earth to the time when I was 17 years old, becoming a teenager. In my previous world I was hailed as the Sword King. I tried to get myself out of the situation using some of my internal energy to protect myself from Chen Shi. After escaping, I got onto the road, where I was shocked seeing that men are being so timid and dependent on women for every bit of the needs, and saw women working manly jobs such as manual labor, construction, drivers and everything. This society is more dependent on women rather than on men as my previous world. To understand the situation, I went to a library to check on some books, to which I got the answer, oh, that a cataclysm occurred in the previous age which changed the physiology of man and woman, making woman being smarter and more stronger than an average man in this world. Later the idea was developed into what it is today, that women are smarter and stronger than any man, and that they are the pillars of this world. Men are frowned upon in the society as women can freely go after the man they want. Which is not a thing in my previous world, as the situation was entirely different. As I entered my house I saw my father doing chores. As I hugged him I felt every emotion I had kept for the last 300 years, after which I had lost my family, and the feeling of meeting them after a long time had changed something in my heart. My father smelled a woman's scent on my clothes and started to warn me to stay away from women and I have to protect myself. We talked a little bit about the business my mother was managing, and how it hasn't been running very well. When I reached my sister's room I heard the voice that she was visiting some sites and watching some videos, which you could already tell. I gave a huge sound from outside so that she could close the tabs and come outside. As I asked what she was watching, it was actually not the videos, but the live broadcast. As some time went by, she changed a costume and went out after asking my father for a little bit of money, saying that she would need some money to meet some people. And as for me, I could be settled by marrying a rich girl because of being a man. But being a woman, she has to earn money and socialize. After my sis left, my mother entered the house. As I hugged her she just gave me some money, and as I didn't need money, and I only thought my mother of my previous world where she had great character and into feelings. This felt like an ick. After that my mom started flirting with my father, even though these worlds were entirely different. I couldn't watch it going as I had never gone through this experience before. I just imagined how I would be if I followed customs of this world, and the thought of it made me puke. I entered my room and when I opened my drawer, I saw a huge bundle of proposal letters and it was pretty ugly to me. So I started cultivating then and there. After cultivating Ji-Dao technique, my senses highlighted and I watched my whole house to test my cultivation. I saw that my sister didn't return home yet. By that time I got a call from my sister to take a bag from her room and to get to a place. I took the bag from her room and got to the place just in few minutes. As I saw my sister being kept captive there, she saw that there were huge amounts of cash in the bag, and as my sister insisted that she never knew about the cash and only kept the bag as she promised a friend that she would keep it. They were ready to leave my sister alone but wanted me to stay there, so they could take advantage of me. As my sister tried to save me, they understood that there was no way that those girls would trade me for my sister and she had to stay there. As it was no big deal for me, I slapped the shit out of the gangster's face. As she started to fight back, I understood that the women in this world really do have tremendous amount of strength. And when she was about to shoot me with a gun, a person entered the room from the door. She was none other than the person who was trying to sleep with me when I woke up at the start. She ordered the gangsters to leave us to her as the gangster tried to raise a voice against her. This girl ordered her guards to take care of her. The girl tried to arrange it in a way that she was doing me a favor, but I was having none of it, as I know, it was just a thing to get me into bed. I can't even understand this girl, as how she would have thought that I would become her boyfriend number 36. She tried to challenge me with a battle of strength. With hand wrestling match in which I won. Now meaning that she could never interfere in my life. And I don't think that she would do the same, being away from me, that then she would try even harder next time. That I wouldn't get to be her boyfriend. As I was leaving with my sister, she tried to warn me about the people in this world. And just a simple yes can make me her husband, that no one in this world can touch ever again. I just gave her a clarity that we men don't need women to take care of us. By hearing this, all the members in the club thought I was mad. As I was about to leave, the assistant told her master that it was time for them to leave as well, as it'd been a lot of time since they came out and to return to their family. As we were walking outside, my sister asked me to keep this a secret from my parents, in which I pulled her leg a little bit. And after that I did accept the truce. In the situation, she did want me to get married to the girl so she could get some business opportunities. After this situation, I continued to cultivate in my room while my sister continued the web watching. The next day I went to my school. On the road I saw my best friend running towards me in the most feminine way I could ever think of a person could run. For that I had to ditch him and run away. In the class, I was contemplating that I could never live in this world and I had to leave as soon as possible. At that time the class president came to me to ask how I was, as she had seen me bored in the class, as I had just told her I was just hungry as I haven't eaten anything. As we were about to have a conversation, a woman got up, kicking her away and taking me into her arms. As she was about to attack me, a kid from my class named Yi Mao stopped her, and I think it would benefit her the most, because if she have risen a hand against me, she would have surely seen hell. He took me out to the balcony, just to apologize to me, as the incident on previous day was caused none other than by his sister, who gave me the idea of giving me a lift to my house when she played this entire game. Then on the way she gave me a bottle of water, which was mixed with sedatives that slumbered me. While I was returning to home in the evening, the girl from the previous day came with her car again to give me a lift. When I refused getting into a car, she blackmailed me using my family. As I got into the car, I asked her about the truth, in which she confessed that it was just a line to get me into her car. I shown her just a little bit of my strength by breaking a glass prism in her car. I actually started liking her a little bit after she proposed conditions which were favorable for me. As she did interest me a little bit, I decided to be friends with her. That became the starting point of our relationship. While we were on the drive, a truck came in and dashed our car. While getting hit by the truck, I covered our entire bodies with aura and escaped in the last nick of time. As I took her out of the car, we were covered by injuries. I sensed some people coming near to attack us. They were 5 women with melee weapons. With both of our powers combined, it became a little bit easier to defeat them. After the fight was over, she got a call from her family saying her mother was also attacked. But unlike us, her mother was in a critical condition. No matter how well the women of this world were trained, at that time she was like normal woman from my world and was in tears. I couldn't see her crying and went with her to see her mother so I could see if there was anything I could do to help her. After a slight hug which consoled her, we reached her family's house where her mother was resting. I had gone there as a doctor to check in her mother's condition. In order to not get suspicious, I checked the bodies of the guards at the gate, and I could easily find out about the things they had been wrong, so I helped them a little bit, which in turn gave their acceptance to me being a doctor. We met her aunt and cousin on our way inside named May and Meyer. As I could see they were nothing but shit to their core. To check my level of mastery, Meyer decided to attack me, in which, as an answer, I gave her a single punch to the abdomen which rendered her unable to fight. Outside of her mother's room, who met her aunt, who Chen Shi was the closest to, and as it was getting time for Chengxi's moms to get her treatment. To see the patient immediately upon asking, Chengxi told her aunt about the whole story that happened. We went inside the room to see her mother, and when I was about to treat her she asked me to leave her as she didn't have trust in me yet. So in order to get her attention, I explained her about her condition. This has taken a really big hit on her and asked me to stay while ordering them to leave. Because of her previous experiences, she thought I was a spy sent by the other family and wasn't really a doctor, in which I explained her truth that I wouldn't have any relations with the other family as I was only a friend of Chen Shi. As she understood my reasoning, she took off her top. Yeah, man, even if I was a kid I was a man. She couldn't show me like that. It was wrong. But on her back I have seen some serious issues she was having. It was a clump of dark energy, with which she was attacked. It was so much that my current cultivation wasn't enough to eradicate the whole problem, but I had to do it in steps, and I had helped a tiny bit by extracting some of the clump. After treating her a little bit, she wanted to do something for me. But I wanted nothing from her because I was just helping a friend. But she is marked on the word friend, and I left the room. While I was leaving, Chen Shi gave me a hug and wanted me to stay the night as my parents would get pretty mad if I stayed at a woman's house. I had to leave. With the curse in my hand. I have to say bye to all of you guys. So thanks for watching this video everyone, and be sure to subscribe to my channel to know the next part of my journey.